Hi friends, and happy summer. We are in the dog days of summer. It is so hot. And what's best when it's hot? Fresh vegetables. So today we're making a zucchini casserole. That's kind of a combination of zucchini casserole and cheesy hash browns. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll show you how to do it all. All right, so the first step, I've cleaned all my zucchinis, top and tailed them, and they are ready to grate. So then I have this nifty little tool that I'm gonna use today to grate them. And what it does is it just breaks it down like a cheese grater would, except for you don't have to worry about cutting your fingers. All right, so the recipe calls for about 4 cups of zucchini. So this is maybe a little bit more, but it's pretty close. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually dump this in a large colander. Fun story, this is my grandma's old colander, and it even has a melt mark to prove it. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna sprinkle it with salt, because we want to draw a little bit of that water out of there. Otherwise, we'll just have a soupy mess. So once you get a little salt on it, you stir it with your hands a little bit. All right, so while the zucchini is sitting, it's gonna set for about 15 minutes and let the water come out of it. So we're gonna start with our other parts of the casserole. First, we have 2 eggs. Whoops. And the 2 eggs will act kind of as a binding agent. So we're gonna whisk those up first before we throw anything else in. I'm gonna throw in about a half a cup of ricotta cheese. You can use sour cream, however, I am going to use Greek yogurt because it's probably my favorite. And I did about between 3/4 of a cup and a cup of that. And then we're gonna mix that up. Make sure those eggs get incorporated in all of that yummy, delicious cheese. And then we're gonna start with the rest of our ingredients. We've got a pound of sausage we're gonna throw in. You can make this a vegetarian dish. I just was looking to make something for lunch. 1 small onion, about a cup to a cup or about a half a cup to a cup. And then I had some fresh tomatoes from the garden I'm gonna throw in. And then we're gonna put in about 2 tablespoons of garlic. I love that. And then we need some garlic, salt, and pepper. Probably about a teaspoon of that, 1/4 of a teaspoon of each. And then today I'm gonna use this Gusto pizza seasoning from Allspice here in Des Moines. They are one of my favorites. They are great people. Highly recommend shopping with them. I'll put a link to their store in the notes. So you put some of that in, and then we're ready to stir it up. All right, so now that we have all of those things incorporated, I'm gonna add about 1/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese, and then about 1/4 of a cup, maybe a half a cup there, of sharp cheddar. You guys can grate your own. That is fantastic. If you have time to do that, please feel free to do that. It will make it more delicious, I'm sure. However, when you're in a hurry, you buy the shredded stuff. No judgment here. All right, so everything there is incorporated. And I think we need to go back and check on our zucchini now.
Sure.
All right, so I have rinsed the zucchini. It's sat for about 10 to 15 minutes. I rinsed it so it wouldn't have all that salt on it. And you can see that down below there's a lot of zucchini water, which is fantastic that it pulled so much out. However, since you don't want your zucchini to be wet, you're gonna wanna squeeze it out. So you should be probably familiar with this if you've ever cooked spinach or anything like that. But you just wanna squeeze all the moisture you can out because you don't want zucchini soup. All right, so we have our stuff that we've mixed up, and then we're just gonna add our zucchini back in that we've wrung out. And we will stir that in. All right, so now we're just gonna transfer everything over to this 9x9. So then we're gonna put a layer of Parmesan on top. And you know me, I like more cheese than what it calls for. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more. Okay, so we've got our Parmesan, and then we have our shredded cheddar to go on top. Ooh, that's a lot of cheddar. Cheddar make it better. That'll be for Ellie or Wrigley. And then we've got panko breadcrumbs. And those panko breadcrumbs are gonna take from the oil and the cheese, and they will get nice and crispy and be very delicious. All right, so now it goes into the oven at 375 degrees. All right, so the total cook time on this zucchini casserole was about 40 minutes. Then we brought it out of the oven and let it set for about 20. The crunch of the cheese, the creaminess of the ricotta and the Greek yogurt, and then you've got the Parmesan cheese. Oh, it's delicious. It's crunchy. It's creamy. It's everything that you could get from zucchini. Go try it right now.